And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today, we've got a week for the Green Bay Packers and the New York Giants. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Number 12 in green and gold coming out. Of course, that's Aaron Rodgers. Young receiving core, despite the nagging injuries, despite the removal of his head coach, better than 4,400 passing yards. The second, maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. To throw is Rodgers. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 45-yard line.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
Durable and dependable, but also elite is left tackle David Bakhtiari. Has only missed 6 games in his NFL career. He protects Aaron Rodgers' blind side, and he does it so well. In 2008,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And Adams has it, complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. That's caught by Geronimo Allison. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 10 more there and another first down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in with in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
On 2nd down and 4. Rodgers. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. That one a first down pickup of 8. Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. Throwing now is Rodgers. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Terrence Williams, his 11th touchdown of the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter, that's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. So now here are the Giants as they'll get their first opportunity here. They'll be commanded by the veteran QB, the former Walter Payton Man of the Year in the league, Eli Manning.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown pass.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
X3, 218, chop it. Go. Mike's the 59. Oh, you got deep? Mike's 5'9", Mike's 5'9".
Get in the weight room.
5.
On 2nd and 9. Manning. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 12 yards there and a first down. The numbers in last week's contest for Ingram, 9 catches, 85 yards.
And most teams mark down big plays as ones that gain 10 yards or more. He certainly has big playability, and we just saw it on display.
On 1st and 10, here's Manning. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll be a loss of 7 on the play long.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get
they?
that little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
15 line. 15 line.
He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Tight on the right. Out. 3 down. 3 down. Out.
Rush in. Rush in. Rush in.
Watch it. Mike's 50. Mike's 50. Here we go.
Lead grip.
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They're trying to cover up some holes in the secondary. Right now, bottom 5 in the league against the pass at number 28.
So I'm prepping for this game. I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
Here we go. 50. Mike 50. Hey, defense. Let's go.
on 3rd and long, it's Manning. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. A big play there. Rodgers to Adams. 49 yards. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has zero answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively, I keep attacking. I keep throwing the football until they make me change.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Broken tackle, and he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. A nice pitch.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Rodgers, the left side throw complete to Adams. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 14. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What do I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. This is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Jamal Williams, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Don't forget, later tonight, Sunday Night Football, we've got the Pats and the Texans from NRG Stadium in Houston. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, it's supposed to be really cold up in Seattle as we've got the Vikings and the Seahawks from CenturyLink Field at 8:15 Eastern. Throwing on first down is Manning. He's going to rifle one deep left side, and that's caught inside the 35. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. A run there on first down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. That's something we saw over and over again in Barkley's rookie season. He had 91 catches last year, most ever by a rookie running back. Part of a fantastic rookie campaign that saw him go over 2,000 total yards.
91.
That's what I do.
Hey, high 7.
59 Mike. Check, 59. Not here.
Let's go.
From the 29, Manning to Shepard, complete over the middle. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 13-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, ace, money throw right there to move the sticks.
First trip to the red zone for the... Throwing now is Manning. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive...
Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you over. 59 Mike, check, 59.
Ready?
Throwing on 2nd and long. Manning. And this is caught at the 8. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Snap comes at one. Manning. And it's caught. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the one. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I feel like Eli Manning has just gone from downfield bomber to a guy who can complete everything.
He can hit him underneath now, can't he?
Yeah, we just saw that there with that pass completion. The maturity of a veteran taken with the defense will give him.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal.
Here we go, G. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Watch your shit. Watch your shit. Hey, watch your shit.
Another try for Barkley. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
Hey, exit.
50 to Mike. 50 to Mike. Hey, let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D. Mike's 50. Mike's 50.
Keep him.
Manning to throw for it on 4th. Rush coming, and he's defense stands tall down by the goal line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the 3rd quarter. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And New York set to take the field. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. That throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. A lot of eyes on Golden Tate this year to see if he can take over some of the production that OBJ had before he got shipped to Cleveland. You know, Beckham had 1,000-yard seasons 4 of his 5 years in New York. Golden Tate struggled at the end of last year in Philadelphia, but he had a really good run in Detroit, including 3,000-yard seasons in the middle of this decade. 23 yards on the play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Hey. Mike 50. Greystone travel.
All day, every day, any day. Slam.
Snap.
Manning going to hand it off to Barkley. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
15, 1, 59.
Watch the screen.
Hey, wahoo!
Check 59, Mike. Mike is 59. Mike to 59.
Let's go.
On 2nd and 9. Manning. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half. Incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Hey, Foxtrot.
Manning. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Anthony Zettel popping in for the sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Go.
Mike 50. Let's go, Mike 50. Let's go, defense.
Hey, do. Ready?
Manning indeed going for it on 4th. And he fires one that's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance. He's helping his team in a huge way.
Let's move it, right here. We got to step it up. No. Off.
They'll try to get this running game going with Williams. B.J. Goodson there on the tackle.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Check nickel.
Again, it's Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished a set. 20%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
51 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 2nd and 12, Manning over the middle, complete. That's Shepard. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Mike's 59. Mike's 59. Let's go, baby. They turn over. Get that ball. Get that ball.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Delta.
From midfield, here's Manning. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 34-yard line.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Now Manning. And he gets it complete to Latimer. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Into the red zone now. Manning. That is caught inside the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd and goal. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game by.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Darnell Savage, the rookie from Maryland.
Nice pick, nice pick.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Now, listen, it's a team game. We know that. But where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? They take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again. But on offense, they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right. You just mentioned it. The defense did it again. They bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest. It's time for them to repay the defense at the least. Keep the ball for a while. Give those guys a break so they can catch their breath.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
We got 4.
Here's Rodgers. Gonna throw again. Got a man. That's Allison. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
Check safety, check safety.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Rodgers going to throw. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 15-yard line. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. All you're doing when you're talking to your defensive team.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Geronimo Allison, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And it's now 21-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This will be taken very short. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. New York set to take the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. He's got a man complete. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Manning now on first down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. This one winding toward a conclusion. And how would you assess how the secondary is played?
Well, we just saw them take another shot downfield that was incomplete, correct?
Correct.
So my assessment is that if anyone's played really well in this game, it's been the secondary. That was the latest example.
Yeah, they've been solid. Really, the whole defense has been solid. Still pitching a shutout. He's going to let it fly. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Again, it's Manning. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. They'll go for it. It's Manning. He can run for it, and he will. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Well, no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Hey, team 6. Team 6.
Check 59, Mike. Mike is 59.
Team 5.
Manning now on 1st down toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held him in check on this. And he's hit and taken down. Eli sacked. Zadarius Smith. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
3rd and long for the Giants, and Eli following the sack. Throwing is Manning. That is caught inside the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th. One final try now from Manning. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
I almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together